How many of you have ever joined a dating website and had to list things about yourself in hopes of sparking someone's interest or sounding cool? It can be difficult sometimes to describe yourself without sounding too boring or too arrogant, and sometimes you have to really think about it, like, am I more like this or more like that? I know we all struggle with these questions when coming up with an introduction of ourselves. I know I struggled with it, but I think I've narrowed it down to a few things. The 3 things I want to tell you about myself are that I believe frame me as the person I am today are my conversion from being a wallflower to social, my big-heartedness, and my artistic side. One of the most influential things in framing me as who I am today is the conversion from being a wallflower to social. Many people can be labeled a wallflower. The wallflowers are the ones that you see that are usually keeping to themselves or going with the flow. For instance, I would never talk to anyone at first. I would never initiate hanging out, and most often I would be the one at home on the weekends. Then I graduated high school. I got a job at a restaurant, and I had to slowly break out of my shell since you have to be more social with the customers. Then I got a job at a hospital on one of the busiest units, and I had to break out of my shell completely because I was taking care of hundreds of people a year from all different backgrounds and walks of life. Now, taking care of so many people lead me into my next trait, the big-heartedness. Since I was young, I've always been told that I have a big heart, and I've always wanted to take care of people and animals any way that I can. Now, I know most of us would do anything for those that are near and dear to us and beloved pets and not think twice about it. Well, to start off with, I grew up in church, and my grandfather was the pastor, and I always wanted to pray for people as he did. And as for the love of animals, I loved animals whether they were wild or pets, and I would always want to shelter them and feed them and just love on them. And then back to the hospital, when I got the job there, many of my patients started telling me that I should pursue my nursing degree and never give up on it because I was so compassionate and good at what I do. So lastly, by being big-hearted, I believe it gives you more of an advantage into being an artistic person, since artistic people use their feelings into creating what's in their hearts. I've learned to channel my feelings into artistic forms such as writing, drawing, music, things like that. Most of us have at least one thing we like to do that is artistic, to express ourselves, such as the drawing, the writing, the music, cooking, so on, and it makes us happy when we do it. Since I was in middle school, I've always written poems, stories, songs, and other little things. I also have a sketch pad that I would draw random things in, such as people I know and things I've seen in my dreams. And music has always been a big part of my life, whether I'm writing it, singing it, or playing it on my guitar. So my conversion from being a wallflower to being social, the big-heartedness, and my artistic side are all things that have made me into the person I am today. Many of us harbor these same traits and characteristics. These 3, however, are the strongest ones that make up me, Stephanie. And I believe God fashioned me with these traits, and I believe it makes me a little more interesting as He intended us all to be. So by becoming more social and having the big heart that I do, I understand that we may all be different, but we are still similar in some aspects. However, we need to be mindful of the differences because the differences make us who we are, and some of us are still trying to figure that out.